My name is Rhapsody. Welcome back to Slay the Spire. We're going to be doing an endless today with Infinite Spire and Replay the Spire installed. This is going to be the last episode in the current rotation with Infinite Spire in. I know I said that last episode, but there's another reason to extend it until this episode, and that is because Replay the Spire has a bunch of interoperability with Infinite Spire, and Replay the Spire is the one that we are going to be cycling into. Replay the Spire is by The Evil Pickle. The original creator of Replay was Astro Penguin 642. Artists have been Baku Haku, Stewart is Me, Lyman, Red Dye number 5, and the original soundtrack by Slimer 509. Translators PJJ The Legend, The Grobbler, Rita Bounstein, and Rincewind. It's a familiar name. Also helped Raina and Blank the Evil. It is a huge content expansion mod, adds new relics, cards, potions, events, monsters, and shenanigans. And it's going to be helping along with Infinite Spire here. Poison? Yeah. And pop it down to Ascension 1 because I am going to be trying to do an endless as well. Neat. All right. There are a couple of cards I'm already thinking about in terms of the tool set of the Silent in Replay the Spire that would be helpful with this. Okay, I could snipe out the Emerald Elite pretty easily here. I've technically the ability to go for 4 elites. Maybe I do that. Take the random rare relic for 7 max HP, go for 4 elites. Okay. Cursed Dice. Whenever you would die, shuffle your hand and discard pile into your draw pile. You no longer take damage. If you win before you empty your draw pile in hand, heal 35% max HP. Otherwise, you die, and it can only be used once. That's hopefully just going to save us while we're on this suicide tract. Suicide path, rather. Effectively trying to go against all of these elites here on the first floor. That said, if we do get all of the elites down here on the first floor, I mean, we rocket so high in terms of power level. 2 attacks. That'll do. Skewer? Yeah, it's gonna help me through elites, sure. Take that early. Upgrade it as well in the second position? Yes, please. We'll take our first point of damage here. If only we had the neutralize. It's the bottom card on the deck, but it would have been lethal that turn. Leg sweep is great, like single defensive. The setup there I think had different text as a result of Replay the Spire, so I should have read that. Fluid movement. This is a Replay the Spire card. Keep up to 5 block between rounds. Upgrades to 8. Not interested in any of the rest of these. This is Lucky Slots. It is from Replay the Spire as well. Whenever a fighter loses exactly 7 HP, gain critical. If the effect triggers 3 times in combat, gain 7 gold. Critical is double damage for the next attack you play. There's also the Midas Touch here, a replay rare. Exhaust any number of cards in your hand. Add a random rare card to your hand for each. I'm not particularly interested in doing that either. I think I'll probably just go with card removing a strike. You find a locked chest. Something about it seems a little bit off. If I had a cursed key, I could open it for free, but instead I'll pick the lock, triggering a trap. 50% chance to take 25 damage, or just take 15. I'm gonna 50-50 it. Because this is 12.5 on average, so if I take this every single time, I'll end up ahead, surely. That hurt. Despite your best efforts, the trap managed to hit its mark. At least the chest is unlocked and we get 3 card choices. That could be useful. No. Probably not. No. 0 until played, upgrades to... Okay, never mind. Setup doesn't have any different text. So if I was going to take anything here, like, I'm looking at Blade Dance and Blade Dance and then trying to turn this into a Shiv build. But, like, that's really hard to do when I'm about to fight Gremlin Knob, probably. I'm doing it. I like Shiv builds. It'd be nice to get one going off. So, neutralize Shiv, kills next turn. Damn. Sorry, neutralize Skewer, rather. I can draw the Skewer as, like, specifically here. I think I do. Killing a target on that turn, I think, is overall going to save us so much HP. I also get to weaken the backline for an extra turn here. So only a single block card would be needed to stop us from taking damage. So, of course, we ended up with none. Alright. As long as we can guarantee the kill on the backline the next turn, I am happy about it. We could even draw into Skewer right now and guarantee the kill on the sentry. Come on. A little bit short of that. This cursed die is going to be real essential, I feel. Regen potion? No, pair. Upon pickup, raise your max HP by 10, as well as apply 5 necrotic poison to all enemies. Necrotic poison does 2 times as much damage per stack of poison. However, instead of decrementing by 1, it decrements by half at the end of each turn. If it has to round down, it will add a stack of normal poison. That's another blade dance. That's too much. I'm taking it. It's too much and it's a bad idea. So, of course, you know I was all about it. I'm more than happy to, at the start of an episode, let a could have been a good run die just to try and get a great run off the ground. That's it. The longer an episode goes on, the far less comfortable I am with doing that. I don't want to take that deflect, because especially with that deflect, I'm like dead against the Gremlin Knob. Okay, no Gremlin Knob. Waiting ideally for Skewer. Huh? No, that's ideal, actually. Unfortunately, Skewer goes by in our first shuffle here. Yeah, and it's generated into our second deck, which is not great. I think I will need to use the necrotic poison in this fight. I still have the ability after this combat to peel out. Not go for every elite in existence. And that has a possibility of winning. Leg Sweep is doing some serious heavy lifting right now. And I opted into that extra damage there. Literally just should have used Skewer for all of its might. That's my bad. Alright. Wasp Nest, every time you lose HP and got back came 2 Thorns, as well as another Blade Dance. You know what? Look. I'm going to peel away from dying as a result of it, but that is still pretty hilarious that I've got all of these Blade Dances. Now I just need something that they will do. Give me an accuracy, game. Save a strike and store a card? No. I'm upgrading all of these Blade Dancers. I am either finding an accuracy, a shiv, a kunai, an ornamental fan. I'm finding something. This is going to work. Don't want to lose any of my plated yet. Sorry, I say plated, I mean my temporary HP. The shielding shard coming up this early is really good for us. None of that is though. Alright. Also, the Wasp Nest is probably going to have to pull us through this fight. That's okay, that happens. So, the Fable Spinner. Storyteller. She just wants you to listen to a story. Her story ends in 10 turns, and then we can leave. She's also aging. For every 10 damage taken, she gains a Languid. Languid is like negative strength. All damage reduced by 2. And it lasts 2 more turns. Its amount of stack is also its timer. In the same way that poison is. Enter the forest. You see before you a strange forest of trees, feeling an evil presence. You turn to go back, only to find the trees surrounding you on all sides. You've been swallowed by the wolves. What do we want to fight? The forest is winding and wild rather. There are no clear paths. You're unsure where you are and where you've been. It's as if the trees themselves move when you look away. So I effectively get to choose between Gremlin Knob, the Lagavulin, and the Sentinels here. I think I'll go for something slothful. No. No, I'll go for the Sentinels. Yeah, because the Skewer is really close to just killing one of them. It's 12 damage per on a Blade Dance right now, so I'm just short of being able to kill that False Sentry. Never mind, I'm not short. Hell yeah. One False Sentry down there on the first turn. Get 2 days into my deck, but that's okay. Get a random relic effect. Sure, I'll take a random relic effect. Serpent's Grin winds, and he rears his head upwards. Before it can do anything, it disperses into mist, but leaves behind a reward. We get a down in the deck, but we also get Mercury Hourglass. At the start of your turn, deal 3 damage to all enemies. More than happy to have it. So the damage dealt by the Storyteller, by the way, is actually in events. You enter an opening in the trees. Inside is a beautiful field full of hypnotizing colored mushrooms. You feel they're not of this world, but even so, you feel oddly compelled to eat a mushroom. I'm going to anger the mushrooms rather than get a spreading infestation in my discard pile, which is at the end of your turn. It's unplayable curse. Duplicate all your other status and curse cards in hand. It's just one false fungi beast, and it's not too difficult for us to kill it. It'll die at the start of the... it won't die at the start of the next turn, but the Sentry will, rather. As you make your way between the trees, you see a banana, a donut, and a box floating above. You seem to remember something like this before, but closer inspection reveals no strings or tricks holding the object in place. What do you do? I'm gonna gain the dex here. Beautiful, and add, I guess, some weak. It's fine. I don't really need to have much more damage, especially on that turn. All right, Fable Spinner. We should probably go with fighting slimes, because it's just a single big slime. Can't really do anything with the second Blade Dance here, so I guess I'll just defend. Glowing Tesseract spinning in the air. Okay, they get added to our hand, so I feel like I just take them all. I also get to gain a bunch of thorns as a result of having done that. So we continue to be weakened, but become confused, become slowed, become hexed. Trees around you suddenly shift, forming a wall to trap you into place. Bright runes suddenly flare up around the sides of the cage. You sense a magical power coming from them. I'm gonna become hexed. There's like, what? Yeah, 2 turns left in this combat past this point. That's a split. I'll happily take the 9 damage here, and then, yeah, 18 incoming damage, but I defend some. End of the fight. You can kind of limp to the end of this combat, I find, a lot of the time. Yeah, I'll take the 9, whatever. I do live, right? Yeah. Yeah, I live. It looked a lot closer than it was. 1 HP's difference. Well, we left the first floor. God, if only we get the, what is it? Wrist blade. That would be super useful here. Bullet time, alchemize, and die. Die is my only consideration here, so I'll take it. Wristblade attacks and costs 0, deal 3 additional damage. All right, maybe. There's also shrinking draft here. Lose energy and draw 2 cards at the start of your turn. So you get 7 cards each turn. Start each combat with 4 decks. If you play at least 6 cards in a single turn, so that is just two Blade Dancers, gain energy at the start of your next turn. On pickup, remove 3 cards from your deck and lose 25% max HP. If I take that shrinking draft, I think I can trigger it basically constantly. I think I can even build my deck around the idea of triggering it constantly. So that's extra draw, right? The best it does is keep us neutral in terms of energy. On the opening turn, I almost always get to trigger it because I've drawn 9 cards in the opening turn. That's really good. But that said, it's up against Wristblade, and Wristblade is in a deck that already has 3 upgraded Blade Dancers and another one. Another one. It basically doubles the damage that Blade Dance does. I can't turn Wristblade down here. I really want the shrinking draft, but I can't turn Wristblade down here. That's a really early of Hardy, and I think I might actually need that to try and not to die. That said, like, my God, I'm so glad that we got Wristblade there. I'm a little sad that I almost turned it down. Dodge and roll upgraded. Yeah, it's already upgraded. Remove a card and upgrade a random card, or upgrade 2 random cards. Remove a card, definitely. Because these strikes do nothing for us anymore. Aha, great. So I upgraded a strike. Lovely. Let's neutralize you, leg sweep you. I really want to Blade Dance. That's 7. It's 21 damage, whereas this is 26. Fine. Seven, 20. Yeah. Best I can do here is kill the frontliner, I think. Saves us the large amount of HP that we could have, I think. I think I'd happily put an accuracy. I'd definitely happily put an accuracy in this deck at this point. Draining Mist. Apply 3 necrotic poison and 1 lagwood to a target 2 times. Applies 1 negative strength to all enemies. As well as speed training, gain 1 dex and discard a random card. Upgrades to discard the exhaustive 3, so you can use it 3 times. Draining Mist upgrades to apply 3 times and be -2 strength instead. I'm going to be avoiding both of those like the plague. They aren't for this build. Just want to try and make sure that that cultist dies really, really quickly. I do not have the time to let them ramp out of control. Very, very hopeful that we get pretty close to lethal here. Yeah, because I just trashed the hell out of my deck. Okay. Drew almost full defense still, though. Happy with that. Hell yeah. White Chosen, hello. Shiv Toss. Discard all Shivs in your hand. Your Shivs deal 1 extra damage this combat for each one discarded, exhaustive 2. We could trigger that so easily. Also, when we upgrade this, it just gains retain. We could use that really easily. But I give up so much damage in order to trigger Shiv Toss. 1 extra damage this combat for each one discarded. It's exhaustive to retain. This is so much worse than accuracy for us right now. Because accuracy, right, is upgrade 3 then 5, right, in terms of damage. And this would, you know, usually be discarding 3 or 6, right? This can activate 2 times in combat and cost 0, but I have to discard all of the shivs, which means that I have to draw into them later. Number 1, I forfeited a lot of damage on the turn that I play Shiv Toss. Number 2, I have to draw into them later, and I don't have much draw power in this deck, so drawing into 0 cost cards that don't defend me is pretty hard to do. This is so delayed in its effects. That's the thing accuracy has over it. Accuracy is instantaneous. I can't take it for exactly that reason. Cloak and Dagger is a consideration here, but like Cloak and Dagger is nice in terms of it gives you defense in a Shiv build. You kind of need that. Snecko-eye. Hilarious. Alright. Echoes of Time. Fetch 3 cards. You've exhausted this combat. Grave. Purge. Upgrades to be 5 and 0. This is just going to get Shivs back for us, but that's fine. It getting, you know, it getting 5 Shivs back is it pulling 35 damage from the graveyard for 0. It's pretty good. There's also Fractal Strike. Deal 2 damage. Draw 1 card. Add a new Fractal Strike to your discard pile. Exhaustive 2. I think that's a Replay the Spire. Yeah, it is. It's a Replay the Spire black card. That's an example of their interoperability. Here's Fortify. Good defense. So Collect. Collect is great draw. Collect Echoes. Runic. It's a ridiculous amount of draw that I'm intending on adding into the deck at this point. Let's remove that. And get a Relic. We got Orange Pellets. Whenever you play attack, power, and skill in the same turn, remove all of your debuffs. That gives me the ability to remove the debuff from Snecko-Eye, actually. I have no powers in the deck yet, but I could remove the Confusion from Snecko-Eye. The only problem is cards I've already drawn that have had their cost affected by Confusion will stay whatever cost they were. Hunting Jar, draw an extra card every turn, retain an extra card every turn, extra choice on card reward screens, and extra potion slot. However, you cannot skip rewards. That's a real big downside right there. Collect is just a lot of free draw. It feels like you never turn that down. And it feels like Echoes of Time for me is also just really good. Maybe I take none of the relics, but if I take any of them, Runic Pyramid is the most likely. And Runic Pyramid is just incredible. I've just spent a lot of Void Shards here, so it is very important that I try and make those up over the course of the rest of this run. Yeah, I'll take the 3 strength on turn 1, thank you. Just a definitely, of course I will. Oh, right, this is a Sneck Chameleon, not an actual Snecko. It has got color shift active each turn. Choose 1 of 3 random effects, and the effects will last 1 turn. And it's also attacking here on turn 1, as you can see. All right. The effects, I can either be hexed, vulnerable, or confused. I don't want to be confused because I have Runic Pyramid. I don't want to be hexed because I don't want to fail my... No, I'm fine with being hexed. Failing my draws is okay because this deck already draws really well. So I'll defend, Cloak and Dagger, then... Excellent. It's like, what? I draw into... Dazed, I still have a whole hand worth of cards to play. I can make the enemy intangible this turn. I don't want to do that. I'll slow myself. Great. Beat of Death. I mean, yeah, I can defend before I attack. This way I leave Skewer in hand for the next turn and just have guaranteed lethal. Yeah. Got him. Whew. Just trying to think a turn ahead there. But face on, when we play a power card, heal for 2 HP, as well as nothing. Tripwire, gain 2 block. At the start of your next turn, stun a random enemy. Upgrades to 4 block. And at the start of your turn, stun a random enemy and draw a card. That's pretty good against bosses. So why has it got such a small amount of block attached? So that it benefits from things like Dex? Because 4 block is negligible, right? But it's just there so that it benefits from Dex, I have to imagine. I still don't think I take that, though. I think the Shiv build wants to be treated with purity. Scrapshanks! Each time you discard a card during your turn, add 1 upgraded Shiv into your hand. Not good for this build. Good in general, not good for this build. That's a second orange pellet, so something about the generation of orange pellets from the Avhari did not remove it from the relic pool. Preserved insect, however, definitely needs to be taken here. Enemies in league combats have 25% less HP. There's also Specialist. Your non-attack damage you deal is increased by 2, and it can be upgraded to be innate. However, if you are the defect, this has the effect of -2 focus as well. -2? -1, I think. And Necrosis, convert all poison on all enemies to necrotic poison. And you can upgrade it to apply necrotic poison equal to the amount lost to all enemies. Neat. I still haven't found a build that has naturally used that. I'll go for the Preserved Insect and then a removal of a standard strike. Especially because I am going to be hunting elites for as long as I'm hunting elites. Seems useful. Oh, Mori, negate the next curses you obtain. Happy to. These portal spaces, by the way, on the side of the map, these ones, they just lead to one another, and they're part of Replay the Spire. Figure it's worth knowing. Okay. Now, extremely unfortunately in this combat, the cards that we draw that have bad costs, like they've rolled a 3, can't just be thrown away. Unless I have a discard effect, which I do, thankfully. And I even have lethal that turn, so I don't really need to care. God. Can I find some accuracies, please? Because I'll actually turn this into like an accuracy stack build. I'll actually do it. Don't test me. I'm gonna dodge and roll. Skewering for 13 damage there seems pretty poor. Yeah, especially because the enemy, if they're not attacking next turn, I can just skewer them for a bunch. That's fine. Hey! Alright, I'm set up. So I'm not going to kill this turn, but I kill next turn. Beautiful. The fact that I just get to hold the skewer for the right turn with Runic Pyramid is super useful here. I love Echoes of Time in this deck. I love the idea of it, at least. At the end of your turn, unused energy is converted to 4 block each. You don't have unused energy. Concentrate. It could actually theoretically be useful here, but it's not going to. Toxin Wave. Apply 3 necrotic poison to all enemies. Upgrades to 4. I do want to do a deck that's just like all Toxin Waves. Oh, come on. Accuracy, please. There's accuracy. Sneak Up has been changed yet again. It is now a gain 1 intangible. Discard all attacks in hand. Refund 2. Innate, Exhaust, Ethereal. It used to be so easy to just like sneak up, attack a bunch on the first turn. It was just like reliable intangibility. Just had to play it at the end of the turn. But because it's high cost and it refunds yourself, it's assumed you played at the start of the turn here, right? Which means that it discards all attacks in your hand, so you're just kind of treading water for that turn unless you're doing setup. So it kind of makes more thematic sense what it's trying to do, I think. I can't see what its upgrade is, though. Do I take the accuracy or do I take Blade Dance? It has to be the accuracy. Blade Dance would have fulfilled a quest for me, which is a large amount of the consideration for it. Definitely going to dodge and roll. So we'll collect out accuracy and cloak and dagger. I think I also throw the skewer. Yeah, it being in hand is actually bad. Getting blade dances is far better. Yeah. Hell yes. Turnip, you're gonna become frail as well as the works. Ooh, hello works. For every 3 cards you draw this turn, gain energy and deal 4 damage to a random enemy becomes unplayable until the end of round. That final text there, I'd like to believe, is because of me. When this card was introduced, I broke the game with it so many times, so quickly. I was real mean. Ooh, that is one thing that the orange pellets can do for me right now. It can purge the negative strength that I would usually incur at the end of turn 1 to purge the strength from the mutagenic. Poison smoke screen. Gain 6 block, apply that much poison randomly split among all enemies, and upgrades to remove its exhaustive factor. 6 block. So again, that's in a deck stacking deck. Doesn't go in this one though. Accuracy obviously needs the upgrade there, then Echoes of Time afterwards. Just trying to throw away all of those extra cards there. Totally fine with taking damage this turn. We got to kill all of the chumps in turn 1. That's, you know, atypical to say the least. Yeah, I need to get rid of some of these extra cards as well, though, because they are really taking up space right now. Survivor into Blade Dance. Beautiful. Goodbye to the enemy and hello to hopefully an energy relic. Adrenaline just gets taken, right? Definitely can't take Velvet Choker. It's one of the only energy relics that I have absolutely no ability to take at this point in time. I could transform and upgrade a strike and 2 defense here, but that seems like a bad idea. With the Astrolabe, that is. Lizard Tail, when you would die, heal to 50% of your max HP instead, works once. I don't think that's ever at risk of triggering, so I think I'd just do Astrolabe and hope. Okay. So from Astrolabe, we removed 5 cards. We got a copy of the Works. Yikes, we don't do much drawing this. 1,000 Cuts is actually pretty good for us, though. And Quick Slash, yeah, it's fine. 1,000 Cuts gives us a lot of AoE damage that we don't necessarily otherwise have access to. There's a path that gets Avhari as well as gets 2 elites and 2 rests. I kind of just want some rests. Very pleased that we drew into the neutralize there. It's pretty much essential at the end. Right. Play the Works, get some space in hand. Go Cloak and Dagger double shift. Blade Dance triple. Yeah, we are on a nice edge constantly here. There's another Blade Dance for the deck for some reason. I don't know why I took it. For the Avhari gem, I think. Yeah, I probably just took it for Void Shard. I don't throw out all of the shivs this turn. Yeah. I do throw out Skewer, though. Making space in my hand. But I don't throw out all shivs this turn because I have the ability to play the other shiv later, possibly after an adrenaline or... Sorry, an adrenaline. An accuracy or 1,000 cuts. Turns out that didn't happen. That's fine. I'll set up to take no damage. It's possible. I have another Blade Dance in the deck, so what? Accuracy? Yeah, accuracy. Blade Dance is the draw. If any draw was going to do it for us, it would be this one. Works again. Those works, eventually I should just leave them in my hands. It's just not right now. God, I really need extra energy. Okay. Blade Dance, getting out a single shiv. Use that, then Echoes of Time to get back a shiv, an adrenaline, and another adrenaline. Sorry, another shiv, rather. There we go. Watch assumes dodge and roll escape plan. Second dodge and roll makes sense. So does the escape plan at this point as well. Like, most of my deck is skills. Almost all of my deck is skills. I'll take the escape plan. Definitely don't want to pay that much for that relic. Yeah, miss out on the boss relic here, and that's really unfortunate, but... did just want to come to this space in general. Don't want any of those other cards. That's fine. It's just the Coffee Dripper that I wanted here. So I'll go... Ooh, Warding Shard. For each act you climb, gain 1 dex at the start of combat. That makes the dodge and roll a lot better. The Works also needs to be cut out of this deck. It doesn't do anything. Like, I have the Works, I have Collect, and I have Escape Plan, but I'm not intending on actually drawing at all. We just retain cards from the previous turns instead. Woo! That's a pretty good turn. Didn't even have to sit there and figure it all out in ahead of time. Just all came together. That's another dodge and roll. We can definitely take that now. Echoes of Time seems like it needs an upgrade, but it's also like one of the least impactful upgrades for anything except for a boss fight. Let's collect first. I mean, we've got a hell of a lot of Blade Dances going out this turn. And then the skill for the next turn, so we've already got lethal. Which is always pretty promising. Ancient Tea Set, when you enter rest site, start the next combat with 2 extra energy. Neurotoxin. Okay, so Neurotoxin, excuse me, is actually the card that I was intending to use for this run. It's finally shown up. I think I still have to take it, just because of how powerful it'll be against the Lords at the end. And we're only on our first loot, right? So we've got time. Swift Potion's probably the least powerful potion for us. Neurotoxin desperately needs an upgrade. Lucky Rock, every time you play an attack card, you have 5% chance to gain. Oh. So next episode is going to be the last episode. Excuse me. What I meant before, of course, was that next episode is going to be the last episode of Infinite Spire with Replay the Spire installed, and we're going to be doing an endless on that episode. That's, of course, what I meant to say the whole time. You can't prove otherwise. Yeah, I accidentally did not put myself on the right path, so I don't have the ability to take it anymore. So, oops. My bad. I'm sorry about that. I wish I took a different path as well, but I didn't. I mean, shiv decks don't really scale, so maybe this is a happy circumstance. In reality, I'm pretty disappointed about it, but, you know, it's my fault. So I can't really... There's no one to be sad at, except for me. Oh, I could have even been rebuilding the Neurotoxin every time as well. I'm going to take Shiv Toss just for the Void Shard. Try and collect a couple of those before we end the whole run. Let's get the extra energy from Adrenaline, because that's the most important part of it for us right now. Yes, I could have given myself the Flight Relic in order to go across and just actually activate that space, but I don't know. I'm not super interested in doing that. Also, have a look at this enemy. This is the Rhapsodic Hoarder. This enemy has Time Collector. If you play 12 cards in a single turn, your turn ends, and the Time Collector can only activate once per combat. And if your draw pile is thin, they just bump it up. Very much the anti-me. Alright. I'm gonna Survivor, Blade Dance. Blade Dance, Shiv Toss. We'll give it a chance. Play this accuracy as well. Okay, now it's time to actually be throwing them. 23 apiece? Yeah, I guess it's fine. The enemy steals their turn back, but they don't change their intent. Beautiful. And... hell, I'll just finish you off with a riddle with holes. Joker card. Every 15th card you play is played twice, as well as... no? Ooh. Guess I'll just upgrade the extra Blade Dance. It's a hell of a run, this whole just Blade Dance build. Again, I'm really giving Shiv Toss the ability to be its absolute best right now. Leg sweep. It's really important the enemy is weakened here. Next turn can be Survivor, Blade Dance, Blade Dance. Actually, I'll throw a Shiv back into the deck. That's fine. I've got a hell of a lot of him in there. Yeah, like I thought, this is fine, I guess. Could be a lot worse, could be a lot better. The best defense I was even capable of coming to that turn. Okay. Oh, Echoes of Time is great here. It's just about emptying my hand out as much as I can, and then letting Echoes of Time do the rest for me. I'm going to also make sure it pulls back a Neurotoxin just to upgrade it again. Goodbye, Transient. Hello to the Flex Potion. And Choke, and Backstab. All of those, like, Choke is so much less impactful than just playing another Shiv. Or another Blade Dance, a lot of the time. So no. Backstab, not really necessary, but it is just extra damage in my opening hand. Flex Potion? Not essential, but I think it'll help me just blow up the enemy. And then this Smith should be on Cloak and Dagger. Okay, this is the Coupled Soul. This enemy shares its health bar with other enemies that have this power. And that is the Hell's Engine as well. Coupled Soul, off the rails. Damage that hits all enemies deals only 1 damage to this enemy. And also plated armor at the end of its turn, gain 20 block. Receiving unblocked attack damage reduces its plated armor by 1. Okay. And the train is speeding at me for an aggressive intent of train. Which actually looks like it might be from the... Is that the sprite for when a target is killed in CSGO by a train? Or is that TF2? Can't tell. Okay, also, on this one, there's 20 artifact. Forged in Hellfire. All non-attack damage reduced by 50%. So either I have to deal 900 attack damage to kill the Hell, or I go for the Conductor instead, and then I can't deal AoE damage. And I have to get through that plated armor. Yeah, obviously we go for the Collector. Sorry, the Conductor. Also use a Power Potion here. Footwork or accuracy? Footwork, we have enough damage. It's just our defense we have to worry about more than that. Okay. So I double the next card I play, which makes me want to play one of the Blade Dancers instead. I miss one of the Shivs, sadly, though. We can get a lot of these charges of plated armor off really, really quickly here, which is why I wanted to focus on that character. Excuse me. What the hell is this? Okay, so now there's an enemy... Hell's Engine. Okay, back attack. So it deals 50% more damage from behind. Okay, so now this has become like the fight in the other place. One problem here is the intent is hidden. That is hidden among my relics. Like, I am so lucky I saw that. Only because I hovered over the enemy did I actually see what their intent was and then looked upwards. Okay. Well, I think I double Neurotoxin on the Collector then. Blade Dance, continue focusing. And then I can turn around at the end of the turn as well. Just to make sure that I take as little damage here as possible. There's a burn hovering up over here. Intent. It has a status intent. It intends to give you burn. Oh, is that like a quality of life thing in Replay the Spire now, that it will tell you more things about intents? That's interesting. Had not seen that one before. Goodbye to the Conductor. And as a result, goodbye to the train. We're just going to be casually flying along here. 783. Yeah, that makes sense. For a run that fun, 783 seems like a decent score. Yeah, so it wasn't an infinite. I apologize that that's what I promised, but now you know what's coming next. For the moment, my name is Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Slay the Spire. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.